Hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar on the tools specifically for the M&E guys inside the Graitec Advanced Powerpack for Autodesk Revit. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Simon Dickinson. I'm the BIM Technical Manager here for Graitec in the UK. I've been with Graitec for 19 years now. Big advocate of BIM for many of them years. I'm an Autodesk certified professional and an Autodesk certified instructor. Feel free to drop me an email if you've got any questions or put them into the questions box, and there'll be an opportunity at the end to ask any questions that you may have. And also feel free to join me on LinkedIn at sdickinson1. For those of you that don't know who Graitec are, we've been around now for 30 plus years. Our head offices are in Paris. Where we started. We now operate across 11 countries worldwide and have over 48 offices and growing. And speaking of growing, we are quite a healthy company, and we are always on an expansion. We've been growing very quickly in the last 4 years. We've doubled 2.5 times in the last 4 years. We are now one of the largest Autodesk partners in the world. We do have a lot of staff. 550 plus staff again and growing, of which we've got 100 of them based in our R&D centre in Romania, who produce our software, including the Powerpack that you're seeing today. And we've also got over 200 consultants like myself, and we're focused on customer delivery and outcomes. So basically making sure that you get a lasting benefit out of the investment that you make in both the Autodesk software and also within our software as well. We are customer centric, and we do make sure that we deliver the best training and consultancy possible. We get 98% excellent or good feedback from our customers, and we do run a lot of training courses. We're currently running over 3,500 training courses a year out of our training centres. We like to split our business up into our 4 pillars: create, simulate, fabricate, and manage. So the create pillar relates to the creation software. So the things, the BIM products, so your Revits, your Advanced Steel, your Navisworks, but also for manufacturing side as well, with the Inventor side of things as well, factory design suite, so on. But then what we do is we write the Powerpacks to complement that software and to enhance it. So some of the tools that we put into our Powerpacks, with which we've currently got 4. So there's the Powerpack for Revit. We have a Powerpack for Advanced Steel, we've got a Powerpack for Inventor, and we've got a Powerpack for Vault. And the Powerpacks are there to add additional functionality into the software to give you tools that you can't already do, and optimization tools. So tools which are going to save you time and effort, and bring that, the productivity into what is already a very good product. We then have our simulate tools. We have our own analysis packages which we create for doing real world analysis, in particular advanced design from a structural point of view. And these packages have got direct links back to the other software. So advanced design will talk to Revit, and we can take models from Revit to advanced design and from advanced design back into Revit to make the changes where necessary. We have our fabrication, so we've got Advanced Workshop. So Advanced Workshop is our tool for fabrication, so where we're doing offsite manufacturing, and where we can basically take them deliverables to the shop floor, manufacture them, and then manage that all the way through to site delivery. From a managed point of view, we have a product called OpenTree. OpenTree is our document management system, and it will talk to most CAD packages. And in addition to that, it will also talk to pretty much every external CDE, so a common data environment that is available on the market, obviously with the BIM 360 products, but also to any other CDE that you may be using in the cloud. So today what we're going to do is we are going to have a look at the tools for MEPs. That's where they are on our toolbar, and here's a bit of a zoom in on them tools. So we have a few dedicated tools in here. We have the split pipe stroke duct command, which I'll start off by showing you. We have a pipe installation tool. We've got a cable length tool for calculating cable length. And then we've got some opening tools. Yeah, these will allow us to join into an optimal opening. I'll show you what that is. Join into a rectangular opening, and then we have another tool in there for automatically creating pipe and openings. And we call it pipe openings, but it also works on pipe duct as well, and whether that's square, rectangular duct, round duct, or oval duct. I'll go into a bit more detail on that. So the split pipe tool is really useful if you're wanting to break your Revit model down into something that's more constructible. As we all know, when we draw pipes and ducts in Revit, it will quite happily let you have a piece of pipe that's 30 meters long. You can have a piece of duct that's 15 meters long, and that'll be a single element. In the real world, that's not the case. We want to be able to split that down. Now, Autodesk have included now the fabrication tools. And if you want to use the fabrication tools to use the fabrication parts, then that has got a tool for optimizing lengths. But not everybody wants to do that, because by doing that, sometimes you can restrict the way that you change. It's great when we want to then take our ductwork and pipework to fabrication stage, but during the design phase we might still want to know how many total lengths of things we've got. So this is a really useful tool for optimizing the lengths of our Revit ducts and pipes, and we can set lengths in there, and we can split it, and then what it'll do is it'll tell you how many parts you've got before the split, and then it gives you a report back afterwards about how many lengths you've got as well. So it's a really useful tool, and I'll show you these working in a second as well. We have a pipe insulation tool. Now, the pipe insulation tool I quite like, because what this allows us to do is it allows us to set our configuration for how we want the insulation to be set up. Now, what this will do is we can also set the size of insulation based on the diameter and sizes of the elements that are in there. So we can actually get to look at our ducts, at our pipe, and tell it the different sizes of insulation that's required based on the size of a pipe or duct. We can also tell it based on the system type, so whether it's supply air, return air, whether it's domestic hot, domestic cold, just hydronic, the type of cladding that we want to use on it as well. And we can create a configuration for this so that whenever we're doing a different job, we've already got the configuration set up in our template, and we can simply just hit go, and it will automatically put all the cladding on all the different types of pipe and duct, not only based on the system, but also based on the size that we've got created as well for the thickness. So it's really clever as that. The opening tools, so what the opening tools will allow us to do is in here, what this does is it allows us to create, we can have our holes. So as you can see there, we've created 3 openings in a wall. We have an option to change that into an optimal opening. So it'll equal the sizes between the 3 openings, or we can go and join it into one rectangular one, and it will basically create one large hole based on the smaller holes in there as well. The final tool that I'm going to show you today is the pipe openings tool, and the pipe openings tool basically will look at your model, and it will see, or it'll find all the walls that have got a pipe or duct penetrating them where they don't have a hole, and it will show you all the different sizes. It knows the size of the holes that required. It knows the host. In this case, we've just got some generic walls in there, 200mm generic walls. It knows what we're going through. We can choose the shape of a hole. We can choose the offset, and it's calculating the offset based on the size of the pipe that's going through it, and then this will automatically go through, and it will then cut all of our holes into our walls. Okay, so it's really clever. If you're an architect and you've got a linked model in there, so imagine you're the architect or the structural engineer and you've got the M&E model linked in, doesn't matter, it will still detect the pipe and the ducts from the linked model that are now requiring you to look at adding holes in. You know, some of these holes might be quite large. If it's a structural wall, there might be some form of structural reinforcement that needs to be going in there. So it's a really, really nice tool for just automating a job that can be normally quite laborious and quite time consuming as well. And this will detect all of them intersections basically as it goes through. So let's pop over into Revit and have a look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here, let me just start a new. In fact, tell you what, we'll use this one here. I've already got a blank mechanical template open. Okay. So in here, let's do some pipe work. Let's go to my systems tab and let's create some pipe. We'll create quite big, 159, don't really mind what size it is. And let's start to create there. So we've got a 14-meter length of pipe and another 14-meter length of pipe. We might have a branch coming off this way as well. Okay. So there we go. Get some pipe in there. Let's put some ductwork in here as well. So let's say 600. And again, we'll do the same thing. So we've got some lengths in here which are quite extreme, if you like. You know, we can't manufacture that even though it's putting as 1. That's obviously square. I could put some. Let's put some. What should we do? Put some radius in as well. So some 600mm radius. Okay, and we'll do something similar. Just put them in, and let's have a branch off of this one even maybe. Okay. So there we have some round. Make sure I just stick it around. Okay. So here's our power pack. Okay, with all of our tools. Here are the tools that we're going to be looking at today, which are quite specific from an M&E point of view. And what I can do is I can come up to this icon here, and this is the split pipe one. This is quite useless there. So I hit the split pipe. Okay. And what it's done is it'll pull this up, and let me just cancel that. Let me just select all this first. Would help. Select that. Let me go into here. Okay. And you can see it's actually picking up. I've got no oval ducts, so that's 0. I've got 5 pieces of round, some pipe. What I'm going to do is we could adjust that. So let's set the pipe to 2-meter lengths. Set my rectangular duct to 1500 and the round to 1500 as well. Okay. And then we simply click OK. This will now look at all of the objects that I've got selected, and it says before I started on the pipe, I started with 7 and now have 25, and it's also telling me the differences as well with the round and square, rectangular, sorry. So if I just go close, if we now go up and have a look at the pipe, here we go, it has actually split it to length, and because it knows that the pipe system in question, when we actually when we need it to be joined, yeah, it knows to put where the unions are. It knows which part to put in there. It knows it needs to place a union in there. So just as if I'd use my split tool to do it manually, this has done it automatically, and it's pulled that in and it's put the joins in, and it's made these all to the optimal lengths. Okay. Same in here. Look, we come down into here. It's now also done the same with my duct, and I can then get a better takeoff and quantity feedback of the information that I need, and the same here as well. Okay, so it's a really easy, simple tool, but it can really save time, and as I say, it's giving us these better quantities and information. Okay. Might as well use this same model. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next tool down here. Yeah, and this is the pipe insulation tool. So I click on my pipe insulation tool, and in here it knows the different systems. Look, it knows I've got mechanical supply air. Yeah, it's given its number at the end. I've got a hydronic supply in there as well. And what we can do is, as I say, I could create my own custom configuration. So in here we can come in and I could create maybe a standard that I want to work to. So call it Graitec. Okay, okay, there. So I could go to Graitec, and anything I change now in here will affect the Graitec template. So what I can now do is, if I change this setting here, so it's on exhaust air, I don't actually have any exhaust air systems, and the exhaust air is going to use Fireclad. If I change that to say supply, yeah, it's going to use the Fireclad again, but I could change that. Imagine I didn't want to use Fireclad, I just wanted to use the rigid fireboard. Then I can configure the rigid fireboard setup in here for that instead. Let's leave it Fireclad for the time being. But then here is where I can say, right, yeah, it's a fixed value. I can actually set it to be the inner or outer diameter to control, where we get these sizes. Yeah, so obviously it's the largest diameter, what the size of the cladding needs to be. Okay, how thick that needs to be. If I came into my, we've got a hydronic supply, there we go, and it's going to use the foam. But again, I could come in and we can change which cladding system we want to use, and it will automatically use this based on the sizes. All I need to do then is, once I'm happy with my configuration, is I click OK, and that will generate the insulation. Yeah, let's just select that. Let's get all the insulation to go on there. And Powerpack insulation. Helps if you tick. I knew I forgot to click something. You don't actually, just bear with me, you don't actually need to select them. So you don't need anything selected. What you do need to do is you need to tell it which one of the systems you want to do the cladding on. So you can do it on one or more on the insulation, of the clad. Then we click OK, and then that will go through, and it has now put the insulation on everything. And if I was just to select that pipe, if we actually look at and we edit the insulation, there we go. We can then see that it has actually put the foam on there. On here, yeah, the insulation will be the, when I find it in my list, it should be the Fireclad insulation. Okay, so it's basically automatically selected the correct insulation and applied that to my model. Okay, cable length. The cable length tool, let me just start a new project. Let's just do an electrical one, just so that I've got some electrical containment systems. So here we have some space. We go to our system, go to my cable tray, and I could create some cable tray in here. Let's change the elevation, say down to 1500. Okay, and we can draw in the electrical containment for where we need it to be. Okay, and what I'm also going to do is let me just create a similar. Let me just put a bit on the end there where it starts, and then this bit at the end here, let's just drop that down to say 500 to get to where we need it to go. Okay, so we've now got our containment system, which is, we want to know the whole length of that. It's something that's very, very hard for Revit to calculate. We need to sort that out. It's quite difficult. So what we've got within the Powerpack, if I come into here and I go to my cable length, it will fetch up this dialog box. I can then click my start element. So we'll select that one as the start, select the end element, which is that element there. Okay, and then it will calculate the possible paths, because there could potentially be different routes that we can take. And this is automatically now setting this up. It's telling me we've got 23 elements, and the total length with fittings and the total length without the fittings. So we've basically got we can see the total length that we need, and that's the total length of the cable is going to be going from one end to the other. Now what we can also do is, if you want to, we can highlight it. Yeah, so we can actually see, notice it's ignored this bit because the cable's going from there to there, so it's going to ignore the branch, which is fine. If you want to, we can actually go, we can convert this and we can basically make it into a manual. And what it's now doing is it's allowing us to add or remove certain elements from here. Yeah. So as we go down, I could actually just go to highlight, and we can see each of these elements being highlighted in here. Yeah. When I do that, so we can see which sections which, and it might be that I didn't want it to start from this very end point. I wanted to start from one of the others. Then we can basically find the various elements in here, and we can remove them from a calculation. Once you've removed them from a calculation, we can again calculate the cable length based on certain elements not existing. It's usually where we've got start and end points, or maybe if we had a loop in the cable tray. So you notice it says calculate all possible paths. That would be where, if I create similar, if you had this scenario where we had cable tray that went like this, and I was trying to calculate from this point here, chances are there's going to be more than one route from a cable from this point to get back, because it could go either way. And again, this is a nice way where you might have your cable tray set up something similar, but it's going to allow us to then look at which is going to be the optimal route, which is going to take the less cable to actually complete the job. So that's quite useful. Okay, let's go back to this this mechanical layout. Yeah, so we've got various things going on in here. Let's create some architectural features. Let's have some walls going on in here. Okay, so, and let me put in there, just want a straight wall, something like that. Okay, we'll make this a little bit busier for, take that across there, that across there as well. Okay, so if I just go to a section, let's put a section in here. Oops. Okay. So here we have the section, and we can see where these pipes are going through here. So it might be that what I want to do is I might be getting ready for another pipe in there. So let's go into here and let's create some wall openings. Okay. So let's just go to my it cuts a rectangular hole in the wall. Okay, and I want an opening. He says here. Okay, let me just go. Let me make this a bit easy to see what's going on. Let's set this to be, this view to be a coordination view, and let's set it to be shaded. Okay, so I've created an opening there. Might want to create an opening there, and I'm going to create another one here. Oh, not there. That's not where I want it. Create it there. Okay, so I've got these three openings. So the next tool we've got in here is the opening tools. And what this allows me to do is if I select the openings, yeah, so tab in, there's my opening, and we'll tab in and add that, and let's tab into there, add that one. So what we can do here is under my openings, I can join them into an optimal opening. Okay, as you can see there, it's worked out the best solution from the three rectangular holes to actually join them together. And we could have multiple holes in here, and it'll try and look at this and work out what the optimal opening is for these. Let's do an undo. The other option I've got is the joining to one. Okay, now you can see here, because I didn't have any selected, it says I need to select them, so I can select them. It can be a bit easier, I don't need, it just knows to select the openings, hit finish, it will create an optimal opening in here, or basically a rectangular open based on the extent of any number of holes that we've selected. Okay, let's just tab in and select that opening, and let's hit delete so I don't have an opening at all. Let's go to this view. Let me set this to be coordination. Yeah. So let's set it to a fine level of detail. Okay. So you can see here we've got lots of pipes going through lots of walls. We need to really look at this. And this is the final tool I want to show you today. If I click onto here, we can go to pipe openings. I can click on the pipe openings tool. And what it's doing is it's looking through this now, and it's looking at all the intersections between pipes and ducts, and you can see here where the pipes are connecting, the rectangular ones, the round, etc. And then I can come over here and I could have a round hole, I could have a rectangular hole. Okay, so it will even control the shape of the holes that we want to put into there. Okay, and all I need to do, in fact, let's set that one to be round. Yeah, that first one. And then all I need to do, once I'm happy and I've set these up, is click OK. Okay. And what it's doing is it's actually loading in a family that we've created that helps us to create these holes. So it's just loading in the round and rectangular families. They are now in this. And there we go. Okay. So it's pulled them in. There's two that it's failed for whatever reasons, but it has told me where it's failed. Okay. And it's now placed them in. Okay. And I think it was the round one that I actually set. But you can see here now it's actually placed in the holes based on the sizes and optimize them holes accordingly. Now what's nice about the openings tool is if I go back into openings here, it will show me ones that have, these are the ones that haven't worked, okay, so I can redo them. And then it will also tell me any of the holes that have already been created as well. So that means that if anything changes or anything moves, then we can start to create an update on this. Okay, and we might want to change, you know, I could change the offset. So let's change that to say 200. Let's set all of these to 200. 200. Okay, they're going to be rectangular. I can click OK, and what it will do is it will do an update on the project. And so we can use this as a way of looking at if anything's changed as we've been going through. Okay, so it's a really nice tool for very quickly just getting these openings in where they actually need to be in the model, and then monitoring the changes. Because you know, if you're the architect or the structural engineer and you've run this with a linked M&E model, you know, the M&E guys might change the model, so you might have an update. So it's a really nice way of them being able to check. And because it uses the element ID, it understands which elements have already had their holes created around them and which elements don't. Okay. So there's some great productivity tools in there for mechanical, electrical and plumbing guys, just to help to optimize your workflows. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to drop them into the question dialog box. I'll give you a couple of minutes just to write any questions that you may have. You know, one of the things that we do is we improve the Powerpack based on our customers' feedback. So, you know, features that you might want to see, maybe there's a feature that's in the Powerpack and you think, wouldn't it be nice if it works slightly differently? You know, it'd really help us. You know, get in touch with us. You know, we're always open to ideas and suggestions on how we can improve the tools and the features that are in the Powerpack. And obviously, don't forget to look on social media. We're everywhere on there: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we have two YouTube channels, Graitec.co.uk and Graitec.com, which are full of our videos and webinars that we've been doing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope that's been useful, and I hope to see you all soon on one of our next Powerpack webinars. Thanks ever so much. We'll see you again soon.
Gretek.